You make a move, make it matter.
Yeah.
Forget the rest.
Are y'all feeling that?
You're rocking with the best radio station on the planet. SDM Live Unplugged.
Yeah, what's up? This is Rhythm of Day Trois. This is the Fourth Letter Radio right here with www.sdmlive.com. We're back again with a great show. What's up, guys? What up, though?
Hey. What up, though?
Good. I'm going to go around the table, introduce my guests for today. I have a wonderful show. I have Fatu Sadie Sir, activist. One of my beautiful dance teachers. We be getting it in on. She makes sure that you get toned and you're doing your sabar correctly. I love it. Thank you for being on the show. We also have Taji Ali Dural, and his lovely wife, Didi Dural. Thank you so much for being on the show. We're going to get into, they're going to put some stuff on the table, give you some insight on what it's like to be role models. As soon as you have that big, beautiful wedding, everyone is like, oh, I want to be just like them, and all the pressure. And so we're going to talk about that. Of course, I have my weekly regular co-host, Jabril.
What up, though? Peace.
What up, though? Jabril was on Belle Isle just the other day, doing those fires and calling on the ancestors. And I'm like, yeah, check him out. He's on Facebook, Jabril Haleen Shabazz. And he likes to, I don't know, that was what attracted me to his Facebook page. I'm like, mystical. Look at the things that he's posting. I think he's got a future in something. Let me connect, get him on the show. And then last week he said, guess what? I got a twin.
Yep.
And so the saga continues on the fourth letter. So he brought his brother, his fraternal twin. I'm going to let him pronounce his name again for me because I'm going to mess it up.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jabari Shabazz, Jabril's fraternal twin. I'm glad to be here.
Yes, and we love you being here today.
Thank you. Love you guys back.
Thank you. That's his twin. And I was like, wow, it just gets better. The world is waiting for you. I love it. And we make it interesting. We keep it really interesting here at the fourth letter. We've got the first letter, too, when we're down in Georgia. Jabari. He's trying to get over there. He's trying to get down to Georgia. He's a screenwriter. He's working on that. But I think he should give Detroit a chance. We do have a lot of raw material. We've got filmmakers here. And the hustle and bustle of Georgia, they're going to put a sign up on I-75 like, stop coming to Georgia.
Wow.
So bypass that sign, do your do. But give us a chance, too, because we do got some good film rights.
I appreciate that. I really do believe, you can make the best of where you're at. Mm-hmm. And I know there's always been people here working and honing their craft. And I kind of shied away from it when I was younger. I think I've just been in a rush now lately just to kind of get myself off the ground. And I was thinking maybe if I was in a different environment, it might be easier to adapt for me. But you mentioned a great point. There's already great value here.
Okay. Well, I convinced him to stay a little bit, maybe. We'll see.
Maybe.
I see a radio show with the twins. Work on it.
Okay. That would be dope.
SDM Live. Keep it up. All right, so we're gonna have to talk about what has been going down, up and down our timeline all week. We're gonna have to talk about Derek Jackson for just a hot second. We're gonna get into that. But first, I would like for Fatu Sadie Sir to tell us, I like to get into the juicy Detroit, political, important stuff at the beginning of my show, just so that people will know that I am grown. I'm not always fooling around having a good time, but we have our left side of our brain and our right side of our brain. We are yin and yang, and we need to keep that balance, but we need to know what's going on all the time. And we fail to do that. We are watching television, we're eating snacks, and we don't know what's going on. So Sadie is here to keep us updated on what's going on in Senegal. Like, you guys need to know, you cannot just be snacking on Little Debbie's. we need to know what's going on. So what's happening? Because this is important.
Where, in Detroit or in Senegal?
In both. Tell us. Update us.
So I think I'm going to start with the first update where we are from the D.
Okay.
So Detroit is the house of more than 50,000 Black immigrants that lives in the state of Michigan.
Wow.
Right? The state of Michigan is also a border state, which means that CBP and Border Patrol have the right to arrest, to roam the city, and to stop people that look like me and have a different accent.
Wow.
So, as much as we talk about Cut 50, we talk about, the issues with police brutality, we talk about the issues with jail and prisons, we often forget that there are other Black folks that are also filling out those beds. And they are in Monroe County Jail, they're in Battle Creek, they're in Sault Ste. Mary. And most of their crime is having overstayed their visa. So they overstayed, actually they're welcome.
Okay.
Right? So, and because they overstayed their welcome, they can be separated with their family.
Yes.
In
And
Michigan,
you're here and you are representing those people. We thank you for
I don't know if I
being.
represent them.
That's what you're doing right now. You are representing
I
people
don't
that
know
we didn't
if
know were having a hardship. And
No idea
just-
that people
we
were
didn't-
suffering like that.
She's sharing that with us. I love it. But just give us a little short bio because you've got an appointment from the governor in addition to ABISA, right? Your nonprofit organization that does advocacy work for immigrants in our area. So please tell us that little bio so we know exactly who we're talking to.
So ABISA is the African Bureau for Immigration and Social Affairs. It was founded right here in Detroit in 2007 when I met Mariama. So at the time that ABISA was founded, so it's centering the narratives of Black immigrants and also making sure that we can work hard to break down barriers to access to information and resources, which actually held that community very far behind. The Pew Research Center says that 47% of the Black immigrants have at least a bachelor's degree. However, only 5% of them can secure, after 10, 15 years, 20 years, be able to even be homeowners. So there is a big gap that we're trying to figure out how to bridge, but we know what the barriers are. So that's part of what I do 24/7, I would say.
Committed. We love that.
Yeah, all the time.
Tell us about that appointment.
The appointments came from the work that is being done in the trenches. So we have been pushing to have a Michigan Ethnic Commission for Black immigrants because Black immigrants in Michigan are the only one who don't have an ethnic commission representing them. We have the Asian Pacific Commission, but we don't have a Black Immigrant Commission. So as we were for 2-3 years pushing for that to happen, the opportunity opened up to be part of a commission that talks about Black issues. So when the governor decided to create the Black Leadership Advisory Council, a couple of us applied because we didn't have a Black commission, immigrant commission yet. So that application, I was lucky to be one of few Black immigrants that are sitting on that commission. So now we trying to make sure that
Congratulations. Congratulations.
We need representation where it is not.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, the nonprofit is called ABISA, ABYSSA. No? Please help me. Correct me.
ABISA, African Bureau for Immigration and Social Affairs.
ABISSA.
One S.
One S, I'm sorry. ABISA.
Yes.
Yes, it sounds like one of those beautiful French coffees
I know.
that I get over in
Everybody's doing
Senegal.
that.
Like, oh, I want some ABISA. But no, it's a nonprofit organization that is representing our immigrants in our district, in our area. Right? Yeah. Good. We love that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Tell us what's going on. There's something a little bit more that we need to be very concerned about that's going on in Senegal. Can you share that with us?
Well, yeah. So, the last couple of weeks on the continent in Senegal, we have been embroiled in some very bad social issues and social unrest, and 15 people got killed, and all of them who was killed was, I think the oldest one was 32, and the youngest one was 14.
And this is about what? What's
And
happening?
so actually, it's a lot of things happening at the same time. One of the main opposition leader had a personal case where he was accused of inappropriately touching a woman. When that accusation came around, so two factions just picked it up. One says, no, it's not true. He is incapable of doing this. And the other one was like, yeah, he did it. But because we know that in Senegal, there have been a pattern of eliminating your political opponent when he becomes very
Yes.
seated, people bypassed the issue and made it a political issue and said that it was a complot that the government right now was trying to find a way to effectively unseat this very viable opponent. And it's just, from in less than 24 hours, it just went down into the street. The kids was protesting, there was curfew, they braved the curfew, another curfew was put, and they were like, we out here. And
This
the police
is
was
political.
out
So
there.
this is really surrounding an election. It can get
The
really
election
nasty
is
and
nowhere
dirty.
near here.
But they have already started early, kind of like how America
to be,
does.
Not really. To be honest, this is very out of character. Senegal don't really, we were very shocked.
Okay.
Election is 2024.
Oh,
we,
wow.
We're nowhere near. But what we have also to understand is that after a whole year in COVID, you in Senegal, more than 70% of the Senegalese population is 35 and under. So these are the kids, the youth who have been dying, trying to make it to Europe. So the amount of unemployment is off the roof, right? So there is a lot that was pinned down. And when those children, those youth, those young adults see themselves in this young adult person, where they believe what he says, where they say the change is coming.
Yeah.
And they seen this being played for them, it was deja vu. They're like, no. We have seen too many political,
And they're
decapitation.
falling for it. They're
And
falling for
they
it.
were like, no, this is not happening under our watch. And all that just hit the wall, and it was not pretty.
How can we help though? We need a bridge, a connector where you're one of them. But how can we help? How can we help Abissa? Because we are concerned about our fellow neighbors, our Senegalese here, and then all of our African neighbors here in the Metro Detroit area.
I'm
But
glad you said that. I think the first point of entry would be really to look at your neighbor. So my first call would be to make sure that in Michigan, the driver license is accessible to everybody.
Okay.
Because
How
in
do we do that?
2008, driver license was taken away from immigrants.
Taken
70
away. So if you had a license, they could take it away.
I'm
Whether-
sure you voted for that. And that's why I say it like that. I say we did. We take it away because we voted for a law that was telling us, oh, we have to make our roads more secure. And people was like, oh, yeah. Some of us voted for it in 2008. And that law had embedded in it that driver license was going to be limited for immigrants. And a lot of people voted for that law gleefully,
Right.
not reading it. That's why I say we took it away. Because a lot of us was not even aware. So
Because
nobody
we're
can
not
say.
taking the time to
And-
be aware of what's going on. That's why we got some of
For
these
sure.
people, some of the young adults that are coming up, they're insightful, they're concerned,
And
they're
they're connected.
reading, they're connected,
Yeah.
they're updated.
Yeah.
So you can come on our show and you can also keep in touch with us and let us know, hey, there's a bill coming up.
There's a
When
bill
you
coming up,
vote,
actually.
there is some fine print that's going to kick us out of America. Don't vote. No on proposal, kick out. Whatever it is.
There is a bill coming up. There is a bill that have been
Tell
in
us about
committee
it. Keep us
for.
updated.
There is a bill that was in committee for a whole year and died in committee, and it's called the Drive Safe bill. And we're trying to push for that bill to come back again. And what I wanted to make people understand is that driving without a license is a removable offense. That means if I don't have federal documentation, not my living in the state, in Michigan for 30 years, and I had to drive my child to school, and I have a broken taillight, and I get arrested, and the person who's stopping me was like, oh, she has an accident, and ask for my driver license, that is a cause for me to be deported.
That's a setup.
If I go to court to pay my ticket and say, hey, I admit guilt as an undocumented, the admission of guilt for driving violation, which is a civil infraction, means I can be deported. 70% of the folks being deported in the state of Michigan, their first encounter with police is a driving license violation.
You know, I really don't like that because it seems most police officers act just to write tickets and pull people over. I don't see them stopping crime. I had no idea that it extends to the immigration, you know, and to deport people, to imprison people, to make money, you know, to feed that job market of prison. Yeah. And at the same time, another effort to crush black people.
Say it loud.
Those are our
Say
neighbors.
it loud. Say it loud. That's why we say immigration is a black issue.
Absolutely.
And that's why I always call on, you know, on my black brothers and sisters. I'm like, y'all, when you talk
have
about
membership where we can become members of your organization, members can get updated, and we may not be able to stay in touch with you every single day, but we want to be a part of the movement and keep you all a part of our movement. We are family.
We do have a mailing list. Yeah, no,
these types of things disconnect.
We do have a mailing list, and we're always looking for whoever want to volunteer.
Okay.
To do community education and, you know, whatever.
Good.
All the time.
That's called a BISA.
Yes.
ABISA.
Yes.
Love it. Batu Sedi Sar, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Okay.
How do we get in contact with you?
Oh, yes. The African Bureau at gmail.com.
African Bureau.
The African Bureau, THE.
African Bureau.
Yeah, African. Yeah.
I love it.
At gmail.com.
Okay, good.
So definitely. And you can like our Facebook page. I'm one of those, yes, old person. I do Facebook every day.
I know.
They're
What's
like,
going to happen when they shut
I'm like,
Facebook down?
They're like,
I'm not going to know what to do.
I'm like, just go there.
Talking about Facebook, my timeline was off the chain with some Derek Jackson mess all week. It's just the same thing every day, but in support of our black men. I'm tired of the lynching. I'm tired of the persecuting in the street. You know, they put that cross on their back and whip him as he walks up and down the block. Because in my mind, I'm going to put how I feel about it. We're going to go around the table. We're going to get all these great different perspectives. I don't know what you're talking about. Talking about you're not going to talk. I know you got some good stuff, but this is how I feel about it. I don't believe that men innately, I don't feel that they have an instinct to abandon women, period. I just don't think they have that. And so when you're in a situation where there are several different overlapping relationships or engagements, involvements, entanglements, whatever you want to call it, you're going to get people who are in their feelings on either side. And when you're, like I told the young lady on my Facebook page, stop throwing you and the kids in front of the train, you know, demanding and commanding that the man that's in your life abandon another woman, because that has always been usually, you know, the stickler. That is the non-negotiable. And that demand, that command, you know, you're throwing yourself off the train. You're throwing yourself in the Detroit River like, if you don't do it, this is what's going to happen to me and the kids.
Right.
Okay, and then don't turn around and say, I just want to know. Just be honest. Just be, you know, but what we're asking them to do, if you look at it from a different perspective, what I'm looking at is we're constantly talking to black people about racism and how it feels to be, have racism against them. But are we having a conversation when you flip it to the people who are actually propagating the racism. So let's flip this. This is a whole nother perspective. If it's in support of our black men, and how are they feeling? Because the way that I feel about the situation is not the way that you're going to feel about the situation. And my commands and my demands, what I'm asking you to do, I don't feel that they feel that that's what they want to do. And what we're asking them to do, it serves me. Okay, it doesn't serve him, it serves me. And I, as a woman, I don't know if anybody is kind of following me on that.
Selfish individual.
So you're saying, don't talk to her. You're going to end up paying alimony and child support for children and a woman you can't communicate with. And this is, and I've had, people write and they get involved in the back and forth on the social media, and they say the women who are involved in these relationships are saying, I don't like how I get ghosted, and then the children get ghosted because you've got that new person who really, in the scheme of things, we're all temporary wives because you can walk away, okay? And if you can walk away, you're a temporary wife. If you can get up and walk away from your situation. So you're asking this man to abandon another woman for the sake of your ego, for the sake of you. And that's the way I think they're looking at it. We're looking at it like, what are you doing to me? How I feel. I just want you to just be with me. He's looking at it like, you're asking me to cut myself off and to abandon that person. And I just don't have that instinct. Anybody got thoughts on that? Have you ever heard of that perspective?
I see it.
You see what I'm trying to say?
I do. I relate it to, like, it seems in America, someone has to be the slave and then someone has to be the master. And it seems in black men and black woman relationships, the woman is usually put on a pedestal in media and entertainment. And, the woman has got a lot of abuse in society, mostly the white woman, but the black woman too. Right. And the black woman has taken on the white woman's identity as far as receiving their abuse vicariously. So when black women are pedestalized, the value of black men is stepped on and it's lessened.
Absolutely.
It's lessened. So is it like you said, in a relationship dynamic, he has to serve her, Right. A woman, at least in America, he has to serve her. Now, there are many benefits that we as men get from women, from black women, many benefits, but there aren't many protections in law and government that protects a man. There aren't really any insurances for the man in those relationships. Whereas, like you said, the woman could get alimony. If she divorces, he's always living under that constant threat and feel. There's a chain. So the love aspect, or just the family structure, or a desire for a legacy, like that's put on a back burner. People aren't thinking about the generation afterwards. People are just living for my desires, my need, my ego met today. And in America, it's a lot of families, there's a lot of homes where the black father, the black man, is absent.
Absolutely.
So it becomes a way to fulfill, if you leave too, it's like you leaving me too. That's how she feels too. Yeah. And instead of communicating it in a more proactive way, it's like, I'm going to control you. I'm going to keep you on this chain so that I have you around within my control. And if you're not with this program, you got to go.
It sounds like it's a power struggle.
Yeah.
It's a control issue. I heard something over there. What's going on?
I mean, so like, so one of the things is like black women in this area are like married at a rate of like 25% in the black community. And also, outnumber men by several times. And at the same time are divorcing men at like a rate of 85%. So what this says is that the women are like actively like, oh, well, you know, if you try to take on another woman, right, that's it, right? And that's
Right.
pretty much.
That's pretty much like you could be doing everything else.
Yeah.
But
Like
if you
taking
have
care,
another
providing you,
relationship, that's
But if
it.
you do
That
that for more
is
than
the-
one, yeah.
What is that called? Non-negotiable. Is that a non-negotiable for you?
What's that?
If you were to fall in love or decide to have a committed relationship with a man, and he either already has a relationship or he takes on a relationship while he is in a
likes
relationship with you, is that a non-negotiable?
She likes controversy. You know I'm Senegalese, right?
I know that you're Senegalese
Okay.
and Muslim, and I know your answer. I know what your answer is supposed to be, but I want to hear what your answer
You
is
don't
supposed
know
to
what
be.
my answer is supposed to be because there is no supposed to be answer. So
know that's right.
first of all,
Tell me the truth, girl.
so I grew up.
I know how she grew up.
I
Go
grew
ahead.
up in a household that had polygamy.
Yes.
My father was married with my mom for 27 years before he had the second wife.
Okay.
My mom felt betrayed. It was the hardest thing ever. 8 kids, 20-something years. She had basically just dedicated her life to my dad and us.
But did he leave her?
Just let me tell the story.
Tell
Let
the
me
story, girl.
So he took another wife, and it's not about did you leave the person physically.
Right.
It was about everything that you were doing. Now that you have another wife, this was cut by 3 or 4. So there's a time share because Islam have
Every 3 days.
not only every 3 days. Islam said cut it in a way it is fair.
Right.
So you guys decide if it is a week here, a week over there, 4 days here, 4 days over there. However the schedule goes, it is decided among that family.
Okay.
But it is not a set time. Whatever it is, that time have to be cut fairly.
Yes.
Islam also said that if I buy a red coat for you, I gotta buy a red coat for her. If I buy an eyelash for her, I have to eyelash.
I'll be calling her like, girl, we need a diamond bracelet.
You know what I'm saying? So, and the reality is, you are also taught to not in public make sure that, you know, Gina knows that she's the favorite. Even if Gina is a favorite in your heart, it should not be seen publicly. There should be nothing that gives you the capacity to say, Gina is her favorite.
I love that.
Can men do that?
Let me tell you why they can't. Let me tell you why they can't. You're not done?
I'm not going to
Okay,
let you say why they can't because you are not them.
I thought-
We got to have to stop talking for them men. Right?
Okay.
So when that happened, what I tell to the woman all the time is weigh your heart at the beginning and ask yourself, if he has to walk this door and go with Didi, can in my heart, between me, God, and my heart, can I
Handle that.
handle that?
Yeah.
If you can't, then tell your Senegalese husband, I cannot be polygamy. Because it's going to come that time. Because
Yeah.
maybe Didi going to have a child. And you're going to be mad like, I can't stand Didi child. Didi child didn't do nothing to you.
Right.
Nothing. Didi
Right.
child. You know, it's like, make that between you, your heart, and the Lord. If you can, you can. If you cannot, you cannot. For my brothers, same thing. Do not embellish stuff. Black women hearts are very fragile. They carry the world. They have been carrying the world. They have been nurturing everybody's wounds. Their heart is very fragile. It's easy to just shatter it.
Now, this is the part I want to jump in because this is what I don't like is the way that Islam is set up. It allows for you to be a wishy-washy wife because you can leave and come back, leave, come back, leave, come back 3 times. Yes, you can. You can marry your husband 3 times. in
It
Hadith.
doesn't allow for you to be a wishy-washy. It allows for you to be able to say, you know what?
I want to go and see if I want to
Let
be with
me-
someone else.
No, let me reset. No, it's not really about I want to be with someone else. No, I'm not going to let you talk for me. It's not about that. Sometimes the relationship is very hard.
It is.
And you like, you know what? I want to walk away.
I
They're
wanna
like,
walk
okay,
away.
you know
I
what?
want a divorce, and you
They're
tell
like, you
your
know what?
husband that.
Go sit down somewhere and reprocess. Usually that somewhere is at your parents' house.
Yeah.
So when you're there, it gives you that time to reevaluate without the pressure. You were married with a Senegalese man. You know how our Senegalese household can be. Sometimes your husband can be dead wrong and the family is like, no, wait, be nice, munyal, munyal, munyal. If you go to daddy's house, there's nobody to pressure you and say, just
try
bite the
to
bullet.
work it out.
So it allows for you for that time to really evaluate, not to be wishy-washy, right?
But during those points in time, if you jump from West Africa, Senegal to Detroit, Michigan,
Yeah.
during those period of times, a dude or a husband or a wife can really honestly in their heart think it's over. Because they've said that to each other. They have gone through, hell and back. And they're thinking it's done.
Yeah.
Then they pick up with someone new. Right? And then here she come on back.
Well,
And then at that point is where the cultures clash for me, because I feel as though Islam serves me in that capacity. So that if I want it, like I posted the other day, the ex-husband that I have, I can come back.
Yeah,
and
but
it doesn't matter
but it's
who
not gonna,
he's with or if he has
Yeah,
a wife
but
or
it's not
whatever,
gonna be just
because
like
of the
that.
investment.
It's-
And because he would never turn his back on me and he would just be so
but
concerned.
there also is a conversation that if you said that you were going to go back with your ex-husband and you guys have a conversation and agree to it, he also have to turn around and talk with the one that he is
He
with now
does.
and
Absolutely.
try. So it's not like you're just going to jump and come and be like, I'm here.
I mean, I might do that, but we might not tell her until like a week later. Because if I have to go, I gotta go.
With your back like, where's my bed?
That's exactly how I do it. When I show up, I'm like, what?
They're gonna be so there is conversation though. So it's like there's a lot more happening in the background. And I think in situation, like this, people just have to be open and honest,
Yeah.
to put their egos sometimes down, right? And to think of what would be the best for all the parties that are involved.
Now, I got divorced from my husband and my children didn't know because they were too young. Until one time when they got older, they were like, hold on, what?
What happened here?
Y'all not together? I was like,
What happened here?
together. But I was hiding from them, I'm hiding from them and trying to work it out because it was some issues that had nothing to do with fidelity. It was some other cultural issues to do with me coming to the table as an older woman with children and not being woke at that period of time to understand that I may not be in a position to have this long list of demands. You got to do this, you got to do this, and you need to be doing that. And I've got all this baggage that I never really had an opportunity to talk to him about and figure out how we're going to deal with all of that. So it was always that and then not the other thing. Now, a good example is when his mom just came to me one time and was like, you wouldn't have any problems if you would just come to Africa and live. And I was like, well, why would I do that? I have children here and I have this big old career. And she just was like stumped. Like, because your husband lives here, duh. And I'm thinking, he needs to come here and be with me. And so what I realized is that as American women, we really are put on a pedestal, particularly Black women. And they give us all this power and this money and, these positions, and we can do this and we can do that. We can do so much. And so, of course, I'm thinking that everything is supposed to serve me.
I didn't know that when I was married to the Black American man. Where were you?
Oh, he didn't put you on a pedestal.
A whole other conversation.
So I want to hear from
as a Black American man, we are under the guise that if we were to get an immigrant wife, that we would be treated like we feel like we should be treated, because we feel that immigrants or women who weren't raised under this system have the mindset and the devotion to be a wife and to carry out wifely duties and to be more so as like a teammate, where is here, it does exist a power struggle. Now, I do believe that I could find a great Black American wife. I do believe that. I'm not under, I don't. I'm not the one who I love Black women.
You didn't give up yet.
Absolutely, I never will give up.
Right.
I never will give up. I could find love here, build something here. I could
You're
find
not going to the
something
plantation to get your
I could find something anywhere. If we had that same mindset and we have that same goal and we have the same awareness and understanding of where we stand, and if we can identify and see the war that we are currently fighting in and we choose a side, we can put forth, like, personally, I believe that I can be the type of husband, if I was to pursue a polygamous lifestyle, to where I could have everything even. Personally, that's how I feel that I could be. Even if I did favor one more so than the other, I would still make sure everything is even. But I know that most of us as men, period, here or there, are not mature enough, emotionally or spiritually or mentally, or don't have the consideration. Because, I believe that we do have, as Black American men, we do have a deep love and appreciation for Black women. Mm-hmm. It's
good.
just that.
I have a question for you.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
My question would be, you said that you feel as though you would be able to handle a polygamous lifestyle, but is that because you want to have multiple relationships, or is that because you feel comfortable knowing you don't have to divorce?
I want to have multiple. It's really not one of those. It's that.
Be honest. Look,
it's really not. It's really not like, it's a man's fantasy. Women are so beautiful. Black women are the most beautiful people. So we want, as many as we can have. That is a fantasy, but it's not purely for that. It's not purely for selfish reasons. More so, if I could have just a teammate, a partner, it's not necessary, because the Quran also says it's better to have one wife.
Right? Yeah, the Quran says that.
But it also says in the Hadith, if you have to. So let's talk about that. If you have to me, would mean a situation when I have done talks on serial monogamy versus polygamy. Basically, for me, I believe it protects the woman. It protects the older woman. It protects the younger woman. It protects the woman that didn't know. It protects the woman that did know. It protects the woman that wants to stay. It protects it just is protection for you, because what it's saying is that this is an alternative to divorce. And you don't ever have to be concerned with a man that you aren't sure about. If you are sure in your heart, or it's something that you didn't know about, that the alternative is you don't have to choose. And I think that constantly asking men to choose between something that isn't vertical, these relationships aren't like how I feel today. What about the fact that you walked out and been gone for a year? Put that in there, write that down. And now you know what I'm saying? Or what about the fact that you've got a mom or something that is just, we clearly have agreed that it's a problem. And maybe she's done something that is just crossed the line. Write that down. We've got some issues here that under normal circumstances, divorce would be. We have to separate. But then in these older cultures, they're saying, we're going to sacrifice the ego of the woman and put the children first. So y'all can do whatever y'all want to do out there, but this house is going to stay intact. This home is going to stay intact. Maybe both of y'all need to come visit, okay? And go and do, because just like with my my mother-in-law, my ex-mother-in-law, she said, you all act like children. I have to parent you. I feel as though I'm still parenting you guys as much as you go back and forth. And she just felt sorry for the children, because she's like, hello, y'all got kids. They're over here with me. Hi. Knock on the door. Hello, what are you doing? And so I think in some of these other countries, there is much more support in the institution of the family. With here, we have way too many options. And what I wanted to ask Dee Dee is, being a Muslima, a beautiful Muslima, just getting married, do you feel as though Islam protects you, or you kind of know? Because I kind of feel that way about a Muslim man who really is Muslim, not the other ones, but the ones who are really following as much as they, I know better, I do better, that my back isn't up against the wall. I don't have to have that conversation, because if I want to stay, or if I feel as though you're the one that I want in my life, I don't feel that pressure where you have to choose and now all hell is breaking loose. So what's your thoughts on that?
Right. For me, my thoughts on it is that basically being in a relationship, period, you have to have that open communication and that conversation up front. I feel that way now, but when we first met, he was like, I want to talk to you about this. I was like, what? So even being open enough to have those initial conversations, even when it's hard, it's like, I understand.
So did he come to you and say he wanted to talk to you about polygamy?
Yes.
What? Oh,
yes.
Get good.
And I was like, wait, what?
Tell me about it. Is
So
she
it's like
pretty
I'm
too?
still going through and learning everything, but basically it's not to have a collection of women, not to have a harem. Our goal is basically to have and build an empire, right? And with that, having many people or a couple of people who are educated and willing and dedicated to a family unit, family structure, helps build up the nation.
And there are going to be some people who dislike you for having that much, being that agreeable. Because I was talking about how my dad, who married my mother when she was 15, and she had some problems prior to their marriage. And she checked out mentally. But he kind of nursed her back, but he took us and he took care of us, and he was a single dad. Now, he went and he had tons of money. We were like the richest kids in the neighborhood. But he went and he bought those houses, cash, and they would laugh at us because he bought a house for my mom and moved her next door. But then he had a girlfriend. She was a doctor. And I came to him one time because I loved the doctor. Now, my mom, she didn't mother me. But I loved the attention from his doctor girlfriend. And I liked that she would come home and cook for him. And she was there. And then my mom was just like a recluse dealing with the things that she was dealing with. And so I went to him one day and I was like, hey, why don't you divorce my mom? Because I didn't grow up with her, and marry this lady. And he was so upset with me. Never got hit by my dad, but he looked like he wanted to swipe me. And he said to me, don't you ever come to me and ask me that question ever, because I married your mom when she was 15, and no one is going to take care of your mom the way I take care of your mom. She doesn't have to work. She never got her driver's license. And she's set now. He passed away in 2016, but she's set. And he just broke it down to me, like in one breath. She going to get my Social Security. I wanted her to be taken care of for the rest of her life. She gave me 3 beautiful children. And I'm his daughter. I'm her daughter. And I didn't understand, she wasn't like providing for him in an intimate way. And I didn't understand why he didn't move on. And he just said, I never will. And don't ever ask me to do that. And so that's the way I grew up. And I understand it. But at the same time, I'm the daughter, and I think he's this great dad. And I'm like, who's cooking for you? She's not. Where is that going? So the breakdown in their relationship really didn't have anything to do with the commitment and the loyalty that he had for her. And I felt as though they would still like eat dinner together and come over to each other's house and do all these things. And we were having this big family. But his position was that this is my family, and I'm going to keep her for as long as I can keep her, as long as she's on this earth. Yeah. And because he was so powerful and had money, and he was able to do that.
Right, money. He had money. He had resources.
And so when I go to West Africa and I asked them about the side chicks and all that, they were like, well, you can only afford half a woman if you call her a side chick. You need the whole meal. And so It's just a different perspective if you
And I
grow
think-
up that way.
And I think culture plays a role. It's like,
Definitely.
what is the culture that we are trying to emulate? What is the culture that we are basing our foundation and our relationship on?
I didn't mean to cut you off, but I definitely think that like culturally, like over in Africa, because I've been to Ghana and Mali and a couple of other places, and largely in African center, like whole education growing up, and it's very like community based, and like how do we look towards building generational wealth and like the next generation. And sometimes here it feels like a lot of people just look towards what can I get now and how can I be satisfied now or satisfy my desires. And your example with your father, right? He's looking out for his daughter. He's like, I got to make sure my daughter's good and the mother that gave me that daughter.
That's how he looked at it.
So he's like, it will be wrong or immoral of me to just throw her away because of whatever reason.
And he would also say, I don't have to.
Right. Why? You
Like,
know?
who was going to walk up on my porch and say anything? He was a happy man.
Yeah.
He took care of a lot of people. And he just was a good person. And I guess from a daughter's perspective, that's where I'm at, where you're looking at, you see these men getting persecuted, stripped of their power, stripped of all that they've worked for, because, and when you look at it, they want to make these new words like cheating and all this, but my perspective is all because he refuses to abandon a woman. We're going to take a break real quick. This week, of course, we continue to spotlight Pierre Anthony. He is Detroit's finest, and we're going to get into a little bit of what he got going on. Got an engineer over there working. If you would like to have any of your music listened to, you listening to music, Jarrell? We talked about it. Go ahead and send that to focuseuphoria@gmail.com so we can listen to your music. It does need to be original music. We do not do covers and commercial music on SDM Live, but we are promoting our Detroit finest, of course. All the time. Detroit is always giving us something good. So
Make a move, make it matter. Yeah. Forget the rest.
How y'all feeling that?
You're rocking with the best radio station on the planet. SDM Live Unplugged.
Yeah. I'm on my UK shit. Shout out to London. Yeah, me, I make them wonder. Check out me blah, blah, blah. Me bout to kill this summer. You gon' need ja, ja, ja. Yeah, me, I make them wonder. Yeah, me, I make them wonder. Yeah, me, I make them wonder. Check out me blah, blah, blah. Yeah, me, I make them wonder. Check out me blah, blah, blah. Me bout to kill this summer. You gon' need ja, ja, ja. Yeah, me, I make them wonder. Yeah, me, I make them wonder. Yeah, me, I make them wonder. Check out me blah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, me, I make them wonder. Me bout to kill this summer. Paddock on deck and Tundra. Shout to me kings in London. Me bout to go on run. Record me check all handguns. Soon as me land at the airport, me getting straight to agenda. Name a marquee at the venue. You man cause your name not on one. Me kill that's what you do. Long as a nigga don't run now. CB and me and my crew. Certified nigga I'ma run it up. We gonna ride the way. We coming up like this summer. Yeah, me I make them wonder. Check out me blah, blah, blah. Me bout to kill this summer. You gon' need ja, ja, ja. Yeah, me I make them wonder. Yeah, me I make them wonder. Yeah, me I make them wonder. Check out me blah, blah, blah. Yeah, me I make them wonder. Check out me blah, blah, blah. Me bout to kill this summer. You gon' need ja, ja, ja. Yeah, me I make them wonder. Yeah, me I make them wonder. Yeah, me I make them wonder. Check out me blah, blah. Yeah, me rock me fan consistently. And pop for the margin race consistently. Yeah. Now raise your glasses, me propose a toast to the best to ever write the quote. To find me wave and still be lyrical. The shit be coming from me spiritual. Look how they write me way. They believe me so incredible. Got me feeling like Kanye. Me the greatest, hold me like a show. Yeah, me I make them wonder. Why they record ourselves go under. Me stay consistent, dropping this real shit and me still be hot like summer. Me bout to kill this summer. Watch out me by the flex. Yeah, me I make them wonder. About the zeros that on me check. Yeah, me I make them wonder. Check out me blah, blah, blah. Me bout to kill this summer. You gon' need ja, ja, ja. Yeah, me I make them wonder. Yeah, me I make them wonder. Yeah, me I make them wonder. Check out me blah, blah, blah. Yeah, me I make them wonder. Check out me blah, blah, blah. Me about the girl this summer. You gonna ja, ja, ja. Yeah, me I make them wonder. Yeah, me I make them wonder. Yeah, me I make them wonder. Check out me blah, blah. Shout out to the UK, man. Shout out to London.
What up, though? That's Pierre Anthony coming straight from Detroit. This is the Fourth Letter Radio. My name is Rhythma Day Twa. We're having a really good time. We have Fatu Sadie Sar, Taji Ali and Didi here, Jabari and Jabril,
What
the
up,
twins.
dog?
They're working on their own show. They some deep thinking. You know, you're a good talker too.
Well, thank you very much.
I love that. I think that I like being, I like seeing talent, picking them out and letting them know, you know what, I see something in you. So, and then I will send you an invoice though. When y'all make some money, y'all get an invoice.
Send them my way.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about the Black World Order. I want to know a little bit about what Jabril has on the table. He's getting all that together, letting us know how we can get in touch with him and the projects that he's working on.
So, Black World Order is started by Derek Grace 2, Tyler Jacobs, Brother Ben X, Chris Cole, and 19 Keys. Chris Cole is he's been doing stock for about 13 years. He's made over $4 million in cryptocurrency. He's made over 7 figures in trading stocks and trading futures and bonds in different ways. So with Black World Order, I have an affiliate link you can actually join. What I'm taking now is Chris Cole's course. They have many master classes within it, but I'm taking Chris Cole's course, which is to learn how to trade futures and bonds. A fellow student just got funded. This course teaches you how to get funded to trade on the stock market. She's a young black lady, just over 20 years old. She just got funded $250,000 to trade because she learned the skill that Chris Cole teaches. She learned the skill and she was able to prove that she knows it. So she makes when she makes $10,000 in the market, she keeps it up to $10,000. After that, 80% of the money she makes, she keeps, and 20% goes to the funders. So it's a pretty big opportunity. Her goal was to make $5,000 a month. She made $4,500 in the first week. So now her goal is to make $20,000 a month. And so that is something that I'm learning now. By the videos posted, by the lives. He constantly gives us trades to do. So that's something that I'm learning now, and it's something that black people in America who have no idea about the stock market, it's more deeper than just Robinhood and just buying some stocks and hoping they blow up, or buying some cryptos and hoping they blow up. You can actually make money when the stocks go down, when the stock market goes down. There is a market correction expected from now till June, where they say it's a crash, but it's a market correction. So millions are going to be made. Millionaires are going to be made, and a lot of people are going to be broke as well.
I have a problem, though, in understanding how, like the housing market, when it becomes relative to who is playing the game, particularly like in the housing market, in different neighborhoods and communities.
Yeah.
As soon as people that have color move in, the housing market falls down or crashes, or your home is not valued where it's supposed to be valued. And then if somebody else jumps into the market, other people, then the housing market goes up. And I'm a little fearful when it comes to the stock market. Is it volatile like that? Is the question. That's what I want to know, because it seems as though, for the sake of all of the community, some areas we really may not be able to participate because we rock the entire industry. We rock it across the board horizontally. We saw that. I believe that's what happened with the housing market, is we got in there and started dibbling and dabbling. Now we're in Bitcoins and cryptocurrency. Pretty soon it's not going to be valued at anything.
That's possible. Bitcoin went to like 18,000 last year. Right now it's just below 60,000.
Yeah,
but once it got to 18,
it on my phone.
it tanked. Once it got to 18, it dropped down so low. So everybody who was hype about it, who invested in it, were kind of disappointed. Now, with this opportunity of wealth, I do foresee, like I said, this market correction is coming. I do foresee, somebody punching the numbers. Honestly, this whole pandemic was them punching the numbers. So many small businesses are gone, are not going to open up again, while Walmart, Amazon are boosting up.
The show is called Thumps, Thoughts, and Theories, so he's gonna bring his theories to the table.
I want to say to join Black World Order. I'm on Facebook, Jabril Halim Shabazz. I'm on Instagram, Jabril Halim Shabazz, JIBRIL HALIMSHABAZZ. Contact me if you are interested in signing up, because they are going to close memberships to the public for a while. So if you are interested in signing up, contact me on Facebook or Instagram, Jabril Halim Shabazz.
Thank you. Love that.
Great stuff.
Keep us updated. Taji Ali and Didi, what's going on? So, you all just recently were married. It was beautiful.
Congratulations.
Yes, and you all were wearing authentic clothes from where? Where were those clothes from? Is it Ghana, Mali, here?
African-based clothes.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, you guys are a beautiful couple too, by the way.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for saying that, because that leads me into my next comment, is the pressure when it comes to role models that our society, our Black American society, we tend to take newly married couples, put them on a pedestal, and then everyone is like, oh, I want to be just like them. I can tell you right now, like my daughter, she looks up to Jay-Z and Beyonce, and she bypasses all the stuff he did and bypasses the stuff she did. People are very forgiving. But at the same time, they're putting you on a pedestal, and that pressure, are you ready for it? Are you going to continue to keep your relationship out there in social media? Because what'll end up happening is, like you said, you might have to go to daddy's house. He might have to go on a trip. And we're talking about the rest of your life. So if you're going to have a public life, you have to ask yourself, am I going to be the one that's going to put it out there? Which is why I stay on the radio. So I can, hold on. Let me tell you what really happened. But tell me a little bit about that whole role modeling. Do you plan on keeping that big, beautiful, those feelings out there for the public to see? But then you also have to be concerned about them seeing the ups and the downs.
I mean, the ups and downs are part of life regardless.
Yes.
And as far as role modeling, it's more so we're just living our life and not thinking about the exterior per se.
Okay.
Right? So it's more so us being with each other and enjoying that.
Yes, I love that. Thank you. That is so important, because that's what I say all the time. While we're out here complaining about these men, do you even enjoy the time that you spend with them? If the time that you spend with them is complaining about the time you ain't getting. What are you going to do? Are you going to continue to be out there? Some people just want to have a private life, and it's beautiful. Yeah. They're strong, their bond is strong, But then once you put it out there and it's all beautiful, and then you become Jay-Z and Beyonce of Detroit, we're watching you and you're doing. So which way are we going to go?
I mean, so life is always about balance in whatever you do. I mean, with us, the kind of the lives that we live is, she's a model and an actress. She's in the spotlight. I've had the opportunity to talk to, large crowds and some following in the city of Detroit about certain works. And so to a certain degree, I think that people, like you said, kind of look up or inspired by the image of individually, but also like the coming
as a
together.
Power couple.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay, I like it. But I love her personality with you, because she's ready. She's like ready. She is already ready for
go.
what can happen, and she's open.
And that's
it doesn't
really
mean
important.
that you're gonna. It just means I'm open. It
Yes.
feels very unconditional, lovish to me.
I mean, a lot of, I definitely had opportunities to get married before and chose to get married now.
Okay.
So, there's a lot of qualities that, I believe that brothers look at in terms of how we can actually like grow together.
Yes.
And I just do appreciate her openness so much and being able to communicate. The communication more than anything is the kind of basis of it. And we, like she mentioned earlier, we have very uncomfortable conversations like up front,
That
and
is
you just
so
get it in
awesome.
and get it out. But
Being
once
authentic
you do,
and honest, I love it.
yeah, once you get those conversations in, it's not really a surprise, like, down the line or later on, like, oh, I didn't know you thought this, or I didn't know you felt that. Like, no, we talked about it.
But as we close our show on that, and we will ask you to come back, and also I see a spinoff.
For sure.
Radio. Get back with us and call us. But on that note, I think that's beautiful. And I think that you both have a good platform, but the reason why you are excited about having an uncomfortable conversation is because you don't feel uncomfortable about how they feel about you.
Not at all.
There isn't any insecurity. So you're like, oh, I can't wait to talk about, I'm ready. I'm ready to talk about those taboo conversations. Now, some people, you're going to avoid them because you already know it's going to get ugly and it's not going to be pretty. But I appreciate that about you guys, and I wish you the very best. And also, like I said, I see a spinoff here and I see a spinoff there. And of course, we're going to keep you updated because we have a spinoff, but Abissa is doing great. ABISSA. We're going to jump in and become
ABISSA.
members
ABISSA.
and support our sister. ABISS.
ABISSA.
ABISA. That's why he's here.
I just love it.
ABISA. My name is Rhythm Day Twa. This is the Fourth Letter Radio. www.sdmlive.com. Thank you so much, and we will see you guys next week.
Make a move, make it better. Yeah. Forget the rest.
Are y'all feeling that?
You're rocking with the best radio station on the planet. SDM Live Unplugged.